So we're going to talk about today is the topic is you and helping you to grow a successful company. That's why we're here. And so just to kind of establish the rules of engagement, one, this is the no BS zone. So I won't tell you maybe what itching ears want to hear. I'll just tell you facts, and sometimes that irritates people. But you'll make a lot more money if you implement what we'll teach. And then anytime you have a question, there's no bad students. There's just bad teachers. So if I'm the bad teacher, I get it. I'll get better. But if you want to write any of your questions on the board, every hour will break for 15 minutes to answer any questions that you guys have. And I think a lot of the knowledge that comes from these events comes from the questions that you guys ask. And then today we're going to be joined with different success stories and clients and people that I've actually worked with and I do work with. It's the first person I want to introduce you to. This is Clay Stairs right here. I started working with Clay Stairs when he was 47.
47.
And he's 48 now.
I'm now 48.
Great year. Okay, great. But I've worked with Stairs for basically over a decade. And he became self-employed for the first time at the age of 47.
Yes.
And he's built a very successful company. And he does leadership training and business consulting. And he's going to be helping navigate today. And he also, he's not a member of the deep state, but he is an elected official now. Stairs, what position did you just get elected for?
Yes. Let's see. Last November, I was elected as a state representative for House District 66, which is just right over here. So I'm over at the Capitol now. So I'm actually missing session today so I can be here with you guys.
Thank you, brother. Okay, and then over here, this is my friend Steve Currington. Steve's the Lamborghini driving mortgage guy that we feature on our show from time to time. And Steve is wearing his uniform today. Let's hear for Steve Currington. Steve.
What up? I'm Tracksuit Steve. So
could you refer to me as Tracksuit Steve?
Yeah.
And I think Steve has been a client now for, I think, 8 years or 7 years?
Yeah, something like that.
It's been rough.
Punishment.
Working through it. Okay, so we're going to go open your book here, folks, to page number, again, this is the Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich. And if you're watching online, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, and you can download the book for free so you can follow along. But we're going to page number 4. All right, so page number 4. The purpose of a business. What is the purpose of a business? The purpose of a business is to help you achieve your goals so you can earn time freedom and financial freedom. And if you look at this diagram, the diagram on page 5 is also right here on this board, okay? So we're going to start with box number 1. You have to figure out your revenue goals, your gross revenue goals, all right? So we're going to go to page number 4, and Steve and Clay will answer these questions very differently. Hopefully you will answer them very differently. We're going to look at this triangle. This is not a pyramid scheme. This is not a Freemason seminar, but there is a triangle shape. Maybe I'll make it a rectangle, and people will be less concerned. Okay, but let's look at it. So the bottom of said triangle or said rectangle or whatever shape you're looking at on page 4, you want to have goals for your family, and I want you to write somewhere next to, somewhere in that little section, how much that costs you per year. So for your family, how much do you need to earn per year for your family to achieve your family goals? So Stairs, I'll start with you. I'll work with you then, Currington. Stairs, I'm not asking you to share exactly how much money you need to make, but family goals, what kind of goals do you and your wife have?
Yeah, it's really been interesting with our family. How many of you guys are empty nesters at this point? Yeah, we have become empty nesters here not too long ago. And so our family goals have really changed. Now, even both of our daughters are even out of school. One lives in Nashville, one lives in Austin. And so our family goals have changed quite a bit. You'll probably experience this as you move forward with your family. But my wife and I, we wanted to have a place that both of our daughters longed to come home to. And so we ended up getting a house out on Skytook Lake. It is an incredible home, beautiful home. And so they love to come home. When they do come home, they bring all their buddies, so we get to know all their friends. How many of you guys know it's good as a parent to know who your kids' friends are? Okay, keep it on. Even when they're 30 years old, you still want to know who their friends are. So that's been a big thing for us. So they love coming to the lake, spending time on the water and all that kind of stuff. So that's been a big thing for us.
Now, Steve?
Yes.
You like to travel. That's what I think.
Yeah.
How often do you like to travel?
Every day.
Pretty much.
But I mean, usually when you talk to Steve, we have our meeting every Tuesday at 7.
Yep.
And so I'll call him and he'll say, hey, we'll have to do it over the phone today because I'm in Cancun or San Diego or Florida, or it's usually not in Tulsa. He's always like, hey, what time zone is it? Because I'm going to be in Hawaii. There was one week we met and you said, hey, I'm going to go to Hawaii today. And I go, what? Remember this?
Yeah.
And you did not bring your wife on this trip. Is this correct?
No, I mean, I was already in LA. I would have had to go back to Oklahoma to get her. And
Sure, whatever.
And that's always a hassle.
nobody got time for that.
Okay.
My friend was in Hawaii. It was like a 4-hour flight or something. Boom, you're there.
Steve's life is sort of like a movie, but your family goals, you and your wife are empty nesters now, right?
Yep.
And so what are kind of your family goals here on this little diagram here?
I mean, Sally's goal is for me to be gone as much as possible. That's the secret to 21 years of marriage when you're married to a jackass like me. So that's why I travel, because that's part of our family goals.
Okay.
She's like, don't you need to go somewhere? I'm like, I just got home like 3 hours ago. She's like, don't you need to go somewhere? So,
Okay.
But that's literally our goal.
I want everyone to write down, what does it cost for your family goals? Okay. And just to share with you, I like to wake up at 3 and go to bed at 9 and never leave this 40-acre patch of land ever. But I have to sometimes for the Reawaken America tour. But if we didn't have a pandemic, I would never leave. And those of you who know me know I would never leave. So, but you want to write down your goals, okay, for your family. What does that cost? The next one is friendship goals. This is big, okay? We've heard this phrase a lot, okay? Sean, you can look it up as well. But your network is your net worth. That's a thing. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's a thing. Again, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Clay, I remember the first time I heard that phrase. I was a high school science teacher. Oh man, I was in trouble. I started going, oh no, this is.
You became
not
a
good.
teenager again?
Yeah, this is not good. Yeah.
So it's really important though that you think about it, because you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Okay. And again, your network is your net worth. This is big. And Proverbs, you should look it up there, Sean. It says in Proverbs, it states that for a companion of fools shall suffer harm. Okay. And Sean will look that up. And again, if I ever say something that conflicts with the Bible, please go with the Bible. Turns out it's a good book. Okay. So, but it's really important that you think about this, because I used to be around a bunch of people that were not productive, because I was 18, 17 when I started my first business. I started when I was 15, but it was 18 when I had employees and a staff. And the guys that I hired, my employees, their idea of goals were they at the Tulsa casino here, there's the River Casino. And at the time, it was like a shed that was made of aluminum. Remember that?
The aluminum shed.
And a lot of times they'll throw up a casino. They'll call it casino and resort, but it's really just a shed with bling ding ding casino games.
Yeah,
and
that's how casinos here in Oklahoma start. It's little metal buildings and then
casino, and it says anyway. So they used to want to go out and steal gas. That was a thing, because it was pre-cameras, pre-surveillance, 1998, 99. And the plan was figure out what gas stations you could steal gas from. This is real goals. These are goals they had. They're like, this gas station over here, you can definitely steal gas. Or the casino. This casino will give you $20 of free tokens on Thursdays. Or, so when you're around people like that, these become like the conversations you have. We would spend entire nights memorizing rap lyrics. We're like, oh my gosh, the Notorious B.I.G. just dropped this new B-side. It is sick. Let's memorize it. And we would do, because this is what we would do. This is what, and I was a DJ too. So it was DJs, rappers, a lot of weed, a lot of DJs, a lot of rappers, a lot of weed. That was who I was with. And if you're not careful, you wake up one day and you're 40 and you're still hanging around with the same people, right? So I just encourage you to write down somewhere here on this on your F7 goals, who are 5 people that you want to spend more time with. 5. And I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who will tell me, man, it's lonely being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I have, I don't know if it's lonely. Maybe defined as lonely, maybe not. I would just say you need to be around people that are high productive, high functioning moms and dads. People that are good dads, good moms, because you'll become the average of the people you spend time with. So if you're hanging around bad dads, bad moms, bad entrepreneurs, that becomes your average, and but if you're around successful people who are, I'm not talking about net worth. I'm just talking about good moms and good dads. Then that becomes abnormal for you to be a bad dad or a bad mom, because does that make sense? You want to make sure you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That'll happen by default. So who are you spending time with? And if you're the smartest person in every room, maybe you need to find a different room. Okay. Yep. So the next box is your fitness goals. And again, everything on here, if we don't schedule time for it, it just won't happen. So there's different seasons of life. There's different times in life. But you want to think about, what are your fitness goals? The next are your financial goals. What are your financial goals? And we're going to get into how to do that, and it's very achievable and very doable. Steve, you drive Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Do they charge for those?
Kind of.
Okay. What does a Lamborghini cost?
By the time you pay tax, and the one that's out there was like
$350,000.
Yep.
For a Lamborghini to drive. Context: the first condo my wife and I bought was like $45,000. So it's like
Yeah.
9 of those.
It's like several of those.
Yeah. So again, and by show of hands, who here likes luxury cars? I'm just curious. Just kind of know in the room here. Show of hands. And don't feel bad about it too. Don't be like, I kind of like it. I mean, I need to know. Who here, not so much? You're not into, okay. I'm into white pre-dented vans. So the last time I bought a van, I'm getting another one right now because I got T-boned the other day. But the van, when I ever get a new vehicle, my thing is I take a mallet and I hit it. It's as soon as I get it. I just boom. That way I don't care about it. You know what I mean? Because I got 5 kids. You know, there's always someone. My kids are older now, but there used to always be one of them throwing up. And then one of them sees the other one throw up, and then they throw up too. It's contagious throw up. Pretty soon the whole van's throwing up. How many of you have like a dog that's thrown up in your vehicle? You know, I want my vehicle to be something that it's very utilitarian. And so for me, I have written down on mine, I would like to have, for my vehicle, I would like to have a white van that's paid for. I like to buy used vehicles that are paid for. I don't buy things I don't need to impress people that I don't know. What? I don't buy things I don't need to impress people I don't know. And this is really big because Steve has been a client of mine for a long time, and so is Clay Stairs. And Stairs one day let me into his world, and it was an awesome world, a world that I don't know that I could be in every day, but I'm glad I went. He said, do you want to go on the pontoon?
Guys, Clay Clark on the lake, on the pontoon. Don't ever do that.
And I'm like, well, what are we going to do on the lake? What
I know.
do? And he goes, we're going to hang out. And I go, what is that?
You kind of chill on the lake, Clay. It's kind of just
you go tie up in a cove with other boats.
And you might just float for
about
5 hours.
Yeah. Get a tan.
Yeah. Clay.
And I was kind of going, I don't.
What are we going to do next?
I don't do that ever.
Everything was a competition all of a surned.
All right.
Oh, it was
but we did go into a Trump flotilla. We did that.
We did. Yeah.
We did. So we made it competitive.
We made it competitive.
But I don't fish. I don't hunt. I don't understand it. I've tried a few times, and about 4 minutes into it, I'm like, we have to go.
One time I gave Clay a ride in my Lamborghini.
Yeah.
We just went to what's that healthy place you like?
There's a Whole Foods.
No, it's the other one.
Aikens.
No.
Sprouts.
We go to Sprouts. And he doesn't really say, I mean, I didn't even drive that fast, I don't think. I did see, have you ever seen someone, it's like they're in the passenger seat, but they're pedaling, like their feet. Like I noticed his feet were doing this. And I was like, what is he doing?
Moving a lot.
And when we walked, he was really nice. When we walked out of Sprouts, he looked at me and he goes, on the way back, can we not drive fast? I said, I didn't even drive fast, Clay. And I don't think he said, I never, ever. Do you remember that, Clay?
Yeah.
I never
I'm trying to help you, and I'm not. This isn't about me. It's about you, and I'm hoping to show you different personalities today. But for me, I grew up really poor, and my whole goal was to not be poor. And then about the age of 25, 26, I wasn't poor, and I've technically not had to work since that time. And so once you get there, it's like, what was the point of that? You know? And I thought I liked nice cars, but then I had one, and I'm like, I don't like that. And I thought I wanted to live in a neighborhood with a gate, but I don't like neighbors.
Yeah. That's going to be an issue,
you know? And so I'm like, what am I doing here? You know? So I decided I'm going to fight it. So I ran for HOA. And how many of you have ever been involved in the HOA?
Bingo.
What I found at the HOA is very few people run, but the person who does run is in charge because you vote for them by default. So I got to be the vice president just by default because nobody else wanted to be in the HOA. And I was the one who generated all the complaints. This lady, Wendy, God bless her, but Wendy would call and go, I just want to leave an anonymous complaint. There's a guy who has 7 to 10 vans who are parked in his backyard. And there's young men. They appear to be drugs moving in and out, a lot of vehicles at night, primarily between 10 and like 4 a.m. And we need to deal with this. Boop, you know. And I'm going, she's complaining against me because I turned my backyard into a concrete jungle and I had like 10 DJ vehicles in my backyard in a neighborhood. And so I thought what I'll do is anytime that she complains, I'll just call her back and go, thank you so much for alerting me. I will talk to this person. But then I met her at a pool party and she discovered that I was him and he was me. And it got weird. So the whole HOA thing, not a thing. But I'm just trying to help somebody here, okay? So then the financial goals, okay? For me, I'm like maybe Dave Ramsey guy, maybe not, however you want to think about it. I don't have debt. I don't do debt. I don't do it. I can't handle it. I don't want it. Maybe somebody else here likes debt. Maybe you like leverage. I don't. We could talk about the FDIC today. We can get into that maybe if we want to. But I'm just saying I'm not a big Federal Reserve guy, not a big loan guy, not a big mortgage guy. Don't like it. I do construction loans, but then I pay them off right away. Maybe if somebody else here, you don't mind debt. I just don't want to think about it. I don't want to have to think about it. I want to be able to, like, do a conference and one day just go, I'm out of here, and just leave, and I don't owe anybody anything. I like to be debt-free, no obligations, no that kind of thing. Okay. So then fun goals. Fun. My definition of fun is having mariachis gather at 6 in the morning and serenade new people from Oregon with music. Who here is from Oregon? Anybody Oregon? Oregonians. Yes.
Yeah, there's a
That would be
Sorry, the governor's a
Oregonians,
communist,
I
but
believe.
hopefully the mariachis made up for it. Okay.
Yes.
So my definition of fun is calling Randy and having him build stuff. That's Randy back there with PMH. That's his son with him there. And Randy built this incredible top shelf seating up here. Is anybody in the top shelf today? Oh, there we go. Good to see you. Yeah.
Yes.
My definition of fun is building things. I like growing companies. For me, growing businesses is fun. So this is what I like to do. And then lakes, beaches, vacations, trips, holidays, graduations, luxury cars, snow skiing. I don't do it, but I like to work. But you might have your own thing you like to do. So I'm just encouraging you to think about it. And then the final one is your focused attention. Where will you divert your attention to? And the reason why we have an ice sculpture here is, Steve, this ice sculpture is going to melt eventually.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a reminder you're going to be dead soon.
It's melting right now.
As we speak.
How motivational.
Does that mean we're dying?
Yes. So the thing is, you're going to be dead soon. Your life is like an hourglass, so you might as well do it. Life is not a dress rehearsal. So there's sometimes an awkward conversation, and if you would have it, it would fix the problem. Like, you're fired. And then all of a sudden there's tension. I can't believe it. You're like, believe it. I've never been more offended. Be offended. And then it's over. You ever fired somebody?
So good.
Oh, man.
Clay.
You ever been dating someone for like a long time, pre-marriage, and you should have broke up, but there's a certain momentum to it?
Yeah, she lives at my house.
Okay. All right. So we want to help you design a life that you like, but it requires financial means to do that. So we're on box number 1. So Steve, I'm going to go to you, and then I'll go to Stairs on this. This is box number 1. This is on page number 5. It's very important. You have to know your yearly gross revenue goal. All right. So in my case, just so we're clear, just so we're on the same page, I need to earn about $90,000 a year to do that which I do. 90,000. Okay, so that's about $1,500 a week-ish every week. Okay, so we'll call it $2,000 a week. That's what I have to do. Okay, now the thing is, I typically earn that every week. So every week I earn what I need to earn a year. So therefore, I don't need to work. So why am I working? Right. That's the question. So I like helping people like you grow companies. That's what I like to do. And then my wife apparently likes to donate because pastors will anonymously, they'll call me and go, thanks for the donation that I did not make. I'm like, was it my card? Well, and then my wife's like, well, it's all like that. So my wife and I have boundaries we've agreed on. She likes to support ministries. I like to grow companies. Somehow along the way, the Great Reset happened, and I don't do well with government. So here we go. Okay. So Steve, with your Lamborghinis, how many Lamborghinis do you have now, and how many planes do you currently own?
I have currently 3 Lamborghinis, 2 on the way, and just 1 airplane right now.
Just one. He's in
Just
need.
one.
He's in need. If you buy a mortgage from Steve, you can support him and help him buy another Lamborghini. Okay, but you like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I typically just buy whatever the hell I want, and then I try to figure out how to pay for it later.
Can you show me your watches you're wearing today?
Well,
This is so ridiculous.
today I wore my date presidential. I know this is something you can appreciate.
Can someone zoom in on this? Because this is this a fake?
No, like this is an investment. This is like a savings account on your arm, Clay.
Sure.
Just a cool 50 grand.
Okay, but this is what he gets into. Now, meanwhile, over here, Stairs, the stuff that you like to do is what? What kind of stuff do you and your wife like to do? Again, going back to that. Like, what's the point of growing your company?
We love to, kind of like similar to Steve, my wife and I, we love to travel. We love to go out on dates. We love to go on reading dates. That's probably one of my big things. Reading and writing is something I love to do. If you give me a day with nothing on the calendar, I will read and write all day long. I love it.
What's a reading date? Like
Exactly.
you guys go sit at Starbucks and read?
We do. We do. We'll go. I mean, it's very often. We really, maybe
we do
anybody
something
know what
similar.
I'm talking about? Can I get any love in the room? Absolutely nobody. Great.
My
Okay.
wife and I do
So,
that. She reads
yeah,
a book and tells me to shut up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's kind of
Nice.
the thing.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So again, box
Awesome.
number one. You have to figure out your yearly gross revenue goals, and then,
But then,
two.
Clay, let me toss in here really quick
Toss
on
it.
the. I remember when I first started my company. In my mind, I was thinking I want to build $1 million company. You know, that's kind of my ultimate goal, because I felt like if I got to the $1 million company, that's what I needed to do to have the things that I wanted to have. What was wonderful is I was able to reach my goal before I hit the $1 million company. I found that I could have everything that I needed at about 700,000 in my company. I was going, this is great. I don't have to keep driving to get the million, because the purpose of getting the million was to live a life that I wanted to live. And I was able to live that life before I hit that financial goal. So everybody, does that make sense?
If you'd have kept going, you could get a Lamborghini with that other 300 grand, bro.
Which I don't care about Lamborghini.
Come on.
I've got the old white truck, you know, that is paid for.
There we go.
And nobody can track it. No
Okay,
GPS.
Okay, so there
I
it
like
is.
this.
Well, there's a new.
Say no to CBDC. Clay Stairs. There it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
I like this.
All right. So box one, a little geopolitical. We'll get into that later.
Sorry.
Okay, so box one. You also want to write down.
I crossed the line first, maybe today.
And you need to write, if you're here, you want to write this down. What is your total weekly gross revenue goal? You need to write it down, because this is your book, your life, your thing. Boom. Okay. So now I need
and keep in mind, this is not just your weekly goal that you need to have so you can pay your bills. Okay. This is what you need so you can live the life that you want to live. We want our company to be a vehicle that is getting us to the life that we want to live.
There it is.
That's the important thing. Your company exists to serve you.
There it is.
And if we're not careful, how many of you guys have fallen into this trap where you become the servant to your company? Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's whole books.
So we
written
want to
about
set
this
you
too.
free from that. So come on down front. No,
There's
we'll get to
books
that
written
later.
about
Altar
this.
calls later.
Hey, Clay, it's the good news, bad news. The good news is my business depends on me.
There it is.
The bad news is my business depends on me.
There you
So
Now I want to. I'm going to pick on Team Glue and Nails. Can I pick on you guys? Is that cool? Okay, we're gonna pull up the website, Sean. It's glueandnails.com. Am I correct? Okay, can I bring both of you guys up here real quick here? This is a new. Can I bring one of you? I'll bring up one member of the team. That sounds good. Okay, but these guys are doing great. They're a wonderful success story. Sir, I'll let you introduce yourself. Can you tell everybody who you are there, sir?
I'm Greg Parks. My wife, Dawn. She's beautiful, but you can all see that.
Don't look at me.
All right. So, and then
She's
Greg,
not gonna come up here.
we've worked with you for about how long now?
But closing in on 2 years, I think June.
And how much has the revenue grown since we worked with you? Met you?
Oh, about 300% now.
And he does remodeling as kind of his niche, right? He remodels homes. That's what you do, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to pick on you for a second. I'm not asking you the numbers out loud here, but do you and your wife, have you guys kind of agreed now on the revenue goals that you guys have?
We're working on it, but we're close.
Okay. Okay. This is it. And do you two work together? Does she do accounting and you do the?
We do. We actually share just about everything with the business.
Is there anybody here who works with your spouse? And by show of hands, who does the accounting in the family? So if you do the accounting, put your hand up. Okay, yeah. So this is really big though. Is making sure you have these gross revenue goals determined. Okay, and you have to figure out your weekly gross revenue goals. Now, why do you guys, as a couple, and again, I'm not asking for specific numbers, but why do you have to know how much crap you have to sell just to break even?
Well, you have to know your margins. You obviously have to sell enough items at a certain margin to meet the goals that you have for your life.
And so again, home remodeling is what he does. We on the same page? Okay. And your business is tripled in size. Are things going good? What's your biggest limiting factor right now? What's the biggest limiting factor for you right now?
Employees.
Finding employees.
Finding help.
Okay, we'll deal with that today. Hey, by the way, thank you for coming up here. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's hear it for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Greg.
So we're looking here at this first box. I want to be very clear. We have to know your gross revenue goals, and you have to know your weekly gross revenue goals. This is so important that you know this. Okay.
And if you need some help with this, let us know.
So I'm going to give you a bunch of.
We can help you with that.
I'm going to fire through like 5 business examples real quick. Hopefully this helps somebody who is kind of stuck here. So with the haircut business I have, eitrlounge.com. If you pull it up, eitrlounge.com. We cut men's hair for men. That's what we do. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, we cut hair. Some people say, wow, do you love hair? No, don't love it. Not into it. You can tell I'm not a big high grooming kind of guy. I don't do eyebrow waxes. I kind of just the word eyebrow wax kind of, I don't know, man card violation for me. I don't do well with like extended shampoos. I don't want an extended shampoo. I don't even give myself an extended shampoo. I just want to get out. To me, I use shampoo, the cheap one. Was it Suave? Suave, yes, Suave shampoo, yeah.
Suave.
Or whatever the cheap brand is where you get 33% more. Because with inflation, I want 33% more. You know what I'm talking about? Can anybody else identify with this sort of thing? To me, manscaping is just get in and out as fast as possible. Hopefully I don't miss a spot, just shave, let's go. But some people like more of a high-end men's grooming experience, but I am not the person who does. Are you feeling what I'm saying? But I saw a niche for it. So this is the 4 steps of entrepreneurship, and I'll write these down here for you, okay? And jot this down somewhere on page 4. This will be helpful, okay? So step 1, you find a problem. Stairs, why do you have to find a problem?
Well, if you don't find a problem, but you've got a great idea, but if it's not fixing anything, nobody will gravitate to what you have. It's got to fix a problem. So you got to find the problem.
So what's the problem with hair? Steve, what's the problem with hair? Why is that a problem for people?
It just keeps growing.
Yeah, it does. I guess that's why, apparently.
Okay. Step
Just
2
keeps growing.
Step 2 is you have to solve the problem. So Steve, what is the problem that you solve with your mortgage company? What's the problem? What's the solution?
The problem I solve is getting things done quicker and easier than others, because it's a very, very painful experience for most people that are buying a house.
And I'll say this not because I'm trying to pitch Steve, but I mean this sincerely. If you go to stevecarrington.com and you apply for a mortgage, his team, you guys respond super fast, and they don't do bankers' holidays. The bankers' hours where they're closed. It's like, it's the 3rd day before Columbus Day. Therefore, we're shut down in reverence of the 3rd day before Columbus Day and the 2nd day after Martin Luther King Day. Have you noticed this about banks? Every week they have a new holiday. It's Transgender Appreciation Month at the bank. What? That's too new. Too soon, man. Okay. But Steve is always available. So the problem is that people need funding, but the solution you provide is mortgages. All right.
Yep.
So the third is you have to sell it. Now, this right here is hard for some people. Who here likes to sell? Show of hands. Who here does not like to sell? Oh, shaka baba. Okay. So the problem with sales is that a lot of people, it's like an emotional thing, and they have a hard time with sales. Some people, it's easy with sales. We'll teach you all the mechanics of that, but you have to sell it. So somebody is here today, and you have a problem that you see, and you have a solution that you have created, but no one wants to buy it. And that's a problem.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's a guy who wants to sell you an app right now that will sell it for you, and that doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, this is where you get trapped in that idea phase. How many of you guys you've known somebody that they've got the idea? I just had dinner the other night with a friend from college, and he's 54 years old and still is in that. Said, man, I got this idea. And he just kept talking about ideas. And the whole time I'm sitting there going, have you sold anything? Is anything selling?
Oh,
what is selling? What is selling? And so that was a big thing for me when I first met Clay. It was all about me learning how not to just have a talent, because how many of you guys know you've got a talent? You've got a talent and you're good at it. And you can use your talent to actually fix problems. Raise your hand. You know what I mean? Okay. If you've got a talent that fixes a problem, now the next thing that we have to solve is you have to sell it. And once you begin to learn how to sell it, you just repeat that every single day, multiple times a day, depending upon how many times you need to sell it to make your weekly your weekly revenue goal.
So you have a problem, you solve it, then you sell it. Okay, there's just 4 steps to entrepreneurship. That's it, just 4. All the stuff they teach at college is by and large crap. That's why they're at the college teaching entrepreneurship, because they're not entrepreneurs.
Well, you have to take sociology. That's like the step before step number 1. Take sociology.
Steps to success. Okay, so problem, solution, you sell it, and then once you sell it, you nail it and scale it. Okay, you nail it and scale it. All right. So now for Steve, if you have a busy week, like if things are really rocking, how many mortgages do you process? Like a busy week. I mean, it's like, what's a busy? Like, wow, that was a busy week.
Like 10 a week.
Okay. And the way you get paid as a mortgage guy is if I get a loan for, let's say, $300,000. What's the average loan size right now? $300,000, $400,000?
Like $312.
$312
in Oklahoma.
So the average is $312, and then you get a percentage of that.
Yep.
Right. And do you get like 1%, or how's that work?
1.35.
Okay, so Sean, let's take 312 312,000, 312,000. Math in the morning, more mariachis. Math in the morning, more mariachis. Here we go. So 312,000, okay, times 0.013.
Just do times 1.35%. It'll be like $4,000.
So it's like $4,000 per deal. Does that make sense? Are we on the same page? So that's how you get paid if you're in the mortgage industry. Okay, we on the same page? So, but if somebody out here, you're in an industry right now where no matter how much crap you sell, you make $7 per sale. So you got to sell a lot of stuff to make that, to hit that financial goal. We're on the same page? So back to haircuts. Profit. I pay myself $4 per haircut. So we do 4,000 haircuts a month. So how much do I pay myself? Boop, boop. Boop, boop. There it is. Boom. Okay. And then anytime the bank accounts go over 100,000, because there's 5 stores, anytime the bank account's over 100,000, I take money out of the account and then pay myself a bonus. Why? Because I like myself. It's awesome. My partner, who likes myself too, and he likes himself, we split it because we're partners. That's what we do. Okay. And it's just, that's how it works. So haircuts. So if we did 2,000 haircuts, so during the pandemic, remember the pandemic, remember the lockdown? The media says, do you value profits or people? Remember that conversation? Do you value profits or people? Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
So the local media, Channel 8, calls me. It's like, we'd like to interview you about what you're doing to keep your employees safe. Okay, sure. So the media shows up. This is what they do. This is a true story. How are you, by the way? You're Esau? Okay, so the media shows up and they say, hey, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. Media, they're not wearing a mask. No mask because they're shaking hands. And then they go, now, sir, we're going to have to film now, so give me a second. He comes back dressed up like Darth Vader. Not kidding. Got a mask on. He's got an extendo microphone. It's called a shotgun mic. Sir, why are you putting profits over people? So if you look that up on YouTube, you can see Dr. Zellner and I both were asked by longtime friends if we would do an interview about how we're responding to COVID. And both of them, they turned into hit pieces, you know? Because like 2 local business owners don't care about people. Okay. Well, anyway, my theory towards business is if we're closed, we're not open.
That's weird.
And the media are like, wow, this is crazy. Wow, you're controversial. So again, so you have to have these thoughts. You have to have these thoughts. So if you're listening today, I want to make sure on box 1 and that box 1 is going well for you before we take our first break. Because if you have box 1 and the math can't work, you should switch industries right now.
Bingo. That is very important. And that this could be a early morning Thursday first session. Okay, when you find that your numbers don't work.
Can't work.
Yeah, like if you suck at selling, you know, you probably ought to be an accountant or something.
Okay, no, this is important to think about for a second.
Count my money.
I rebuke about a third of what he says. About a third.
We need a button.
No, but I want to
pick up both Clay and I. Steve will say something.
There's no rehearsing going on. We just bring him up here, see what happens.
Yes.
But this is important, though. You know, we have. This is big, though. This is so important. I was talking to a guy at a conference at the Riverwalk. We used to be at the Riverwalk, and he was sitting right about here. And he had an appliance business, okay? And it was by the mall. How many of you have ever been to the mall in Tulsa, Oklahoma City, the mall? You ever been to the mall? Who's been to the mall? You go to the mall?
Been to the
it's
mall.
like very expensive retail space. And he's selling like refrigerators and washing machines at like right by the mall. You know, like the Cheesecake Factory is right by the mall?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing he's doing. And he comes up to me, session 2, session 3, and he's like, do you know what this means? And I go, what do you mean? I've spent 20 years selling something, and it's mathematically impossible for me to ever come out ahead. Like I can never have financial freedom because I sell washing machines and refrigerators, and I'm going, yeah, that's true. He's like, that's so depressing. I'm like, I think it's freeing. So you should shut the business down and start selling something else. He goes, that's what I'm going to do. So he left the conference. He calls me a few months later. He's like, hey, I sold my business, sold the building. I'm doing something else. I'm so glad I switched industries. You know, we had a guy sitting here years ago who used to sell mortgages. And I remember he came up to me and he's like, I hate mortgages. And I'm like, you know? And he's like, yeah, I think I want to do something else. And he switched industries. So I give you the freedom to switch industries. And a lot of times we're stuck in an industry for reasons that defy logic. It's usually because of a colloquialism. It's somebody you know. Your network is your net worth. You know, you're around somebody who thought it was a good idea. Your dad was a snowblower, so you're a snowblower, but you live in Arizona.
Yeah, this is a problem.
I mean, there's people I know who's like, well, why do you do this? Well, my dad did it. My dad's dad did it. We all did it. That's why.
Is this making sense? You guys, again, we are here. We want to help set you free, okay? So we don't want to be the disappointment panda here, but we have to make sure Did you like that? I just thought I'd
Hey,
throw
just
that
to
out.
be clear,
Thank
you
Yeah.
rebuked.
Yeah.
If you suck at selling, you should stop.
I didn't
selling.
rebuke. I just
Okay,
I
was like,
reserve the
yeah.
right to
Okay.
rebuke.
I was like, I think that's valid.
We want to help you out, so we have to know in your company, do the numbers work?
Yeah.
You know, do the numbers work? What is your goal? What do you need to have? And then with your product or service, how many transactions do you need to have every single week to hit that financial goal? And if you find out I have to have 3,000 every single week, and you're going, there's no way for me to do that. I usually do 2. Then there's a problem, and we need to consider that.
Now, I want to pull this up. So let's pull up, Sean, the workflow for elephant in the room and the elephant in the room workflow. And then let's pull, it's on the agenda, though. It's on the agenda. You don't have to look, just go to the agenda. It's on there. Look for the word tip top and then look for the word elephant, and they should be on there. Just elephant. You go, boom. Okay, awesome. So this is what we call workflow, okay? So when you're done today or done tomorrow, this is what you should leave with. You should leave with a workflow. And a workflow, click on that, pull it up if you can. And so the workflow is what your business looks like when it's out of your head. And it's a system, all right? So this is how I think about a business. This is elephant in the room, okay? So let's look at it. Okay, so if you bought a franchise, and I encourage you not to. Nobody out here who loves yourself or your family should ever buy a hair business. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I could technically sell you one, but I don't want to because it's a lot of work and it's very little profit for that work. It's better to train dogs or do something else. Okay, so this is the elephant in the room workflow, and the stuff in red is what you have to do if you buy a franchise, okay? So if you buy a franchise, you have to get Google reviews. So if you own, why, can someone sell me on this idea? Why do you have to get Google reviews from happy haircut customers if you have a hair business? Can someone tell me? Bueller?
So the unhappy people don't kill your reviews?
Sir. People read reviews. This just in. I'm not trying to really freak anybody out, but I'm going to go a little bit out there today, outside of the boundaries. A lot of my friends are best-selling authors, and they'll call me and go, hey, could you write a review about my book before I hop on your show? And I'll say, I haven't read your book. And they go, it doesn't matter. And that's how most books are sold. Most books, if you notice the books, they'll say, best-selling book, New York Times best-selling book, endorsed by. And the person who wrote the book didn't write the book. Do you know this? Most people who write books, if you go to Target, most of the books, it says written by whatever. The person who wrote the book didn't write the book. They had a ghostwriter write it. And the person who endorsed the book also hasn't read the book. And then the people who buy the book don't read the book either. It's the insincerity loop.
Loving that.
It's awesome. That's how the movie Fargo was possible. Academy Award nominated, Fargo. And then you watch and you're like, this was the worst movie of all time. But
the wood chipper.
If you sell it enough, okay, so reviews are important. So you got to, and then the next thing they have to do is they have to put out $1 signs on the road. Why do you have to put out street signs, Steve, that say $1 for your first haircut every day?
So people come in to get a $1 haircut?
Right, because it's hard to, signs and wonders. It's hard to wander if you don't see a sign, signs and wonders. So it has to happen every day. Now here's the thing, it's every day. And here's the thing, it's every day. And recap, play it back. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. This guy's crazy. Every day, every day, every day. What about on President's Day? Every day.
Every day.
It's my birthday. No one cares. It's every day. But my dad's in the hospital. No one cares. Well, my dad died of Lou Gehrig's disease. Guess what? Nobody cared. Guess what I do? Put out the signs every day, every day, every day. That's what a business owner is. It's every day. Okay? So if you're gonna have a business, it's every day. It's not like some days and you can't take a week off because you're having a bad day, because if you do that, then you'll be broke. That's called an employee. Employees get to take a day off if they don't feel good. Have you noticed that? Employees, I don't feel good. Can I take off this week? I haven't missed a day of work in 24 years. Not one time. You know, sometimes people look at me and go, you should take a day off, but I don't. Why? That's why I look like this. Okay, so it's every day. So if you bought a location, Steve, if you bought a franchise, I'm going to tell you every day you got to put up a sign and get a review. Why every day, Steve?
I'd probably do it on Tuesdays just so I could get punished by you. Tuesdays are my fun days.
Now, these is all the marketing on the
Every
workflow.
day.
You see all this stuff in blue? Then you have to do mailers. You got to do search engine content writing, search Facebook advertising. All this has to happen. Then that produces a lead. A lead, okay? You see the leads right here? So leads come in, and then someone has to send a pre-written email and a pre-written text and follow a script. Could someone sell me on the idea? Why do we have to have a pre-written text, pre-written email, and a script? Why? Can someone tell me? Someone sell me on it? Charles? You can train it down. You know, if people move on. One of the best employees we ever had. Her name was Katie. She was great. Things are great. Things are awesome. She'd been here for years. All of a sudden, she goes, "Hey, I'm going to be moving to Hawaii." And I'm thinking, "Sweet. Like when? Like probably tomorrow." And that's called being a business owner. You have to be able to like replace. It's like having a football team. Your star running back gets hurt. You have to replace him quickly. You can't be in a spot where it's only one person knows how to do it, because that's not a business. That's a personality. Are we on the same page? Everything has to be scalable, documented. Next box here, Steve, is we have to record the calls. Why are the calls recorded, Steve?
Well, because a lot of times people don't follow the script, so you can play the call back so that you can coach them and make sure that they follow the script.
Something you guys should write down somewhere. Do you know this? When I work with business owners, every single time I've ever played the recorded calls of their employees making calls, every single time, and I've yet to ever, I've been doing this since 2005. Every single time, the business owner is embarrassed by how bad their team sounds the first time they've listened to the calls. Every single time. For the same reason you don't want to hear your own voice on voicemail. You know, you hear your own voice. You ever left a voicemail and it says, are you comfortable with this voice message? Have you ever had that message where it says, if you're happy with this message, hit 1 to send. Have you ever had that happen? And you're like, well, I think I'll listen to it just to see. And you hear back something and it's, hi, this is Clay, call me. And you're like, is that me? You know. So a lot of times people don't even know how they sound. They don't know what they're saying. They don't know. They're talking too fast, talking too slow. They're not making sense. Marbles in their mouth. I had an employee about 2 months ago we caught stairs. They're on the phone with a customer. And in the background, I'm hearing Drake. And I look, and the employee is wearing earbuds while in the call center talking to customers. So the customer can like hear what they're hearing. And then the employee kind of was like frustrated that the customer's talking because they can't hear Drake.
What Drake song was it?
Was
it a good one?
No, it was pretty rough. And so the customer's like, excuse me, I can't hear you. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, give me a second. And they are wearing earbuds. So I walk up to the person, hey, are you wearing earbuds every day when you're on the phone? Oh, yeah.
So we got earbuds and the phone on top of the earbuds?
Yes.
Are they still
Headset, wearing the headset over the earbuds.
Over the earbud.
For an entire shift. And I only know this because I record the calls. And every single Tuesday we play the calls. So that means for at least 3 to 5 consecutive days they were doing this behavior before I caught them. And this happens all the time. And the new earbuds are sneaky. They're like inside your cranium. Soon someone's just going to drill it inside your skull and they're going to trick me that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to record the calls. Okay. And then we have to book the appointment. And our first haircut, why is the first haircut $1? I'm just trying to help you see what a workflow looks like. Why is the first haircut stairs that we do, why is it $1? Even though it's a high-end haircut.
Yeah, well, the first one has to be a good enough offer, a good enough deal to get you to try it.
It's a no-brainer.
At this point, you probably have somebody that's been doing your hair for a while, and it's hard to move away from Bob the barber. So, but $1 a time, man, that's a good offer. It's called a no-brainer.
You want to have a no-brainer. So I'm just giving you some no-brainers and trying to help somebody with multiple industries. Let's pull up the Tip Top Canine workflow. This business is much more profitable, and it costs 1/9 of the cost to open. So if you open a Tip Top, it's $50,000. If you open an Elephant in the Room, it's $450,000 to open up an Elephant in the Room. That's why I wouldn't wish it on you. If you came to me and said, I really want to buy an elephant franchise from you, I don't know. There's so many other ways you can make money. Why don't you get a mortgage license? Why don't you clean pools? Why don't you mow lawns? Do you hate yourself that much that you want to open a hair salon? Who here has ever worked in the hair business? Okay, we got about 90% of our staff is very emotionally stable. But then you got that 10% that's just out there because it's like hair meets art. They went into hair school because they're an artist. Have you met these people?
Yeah, all
and
of
it becomes crazy.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, not all. We have a great team right now. Okay, so let's look at this workflow here.
All hair people are crazy.
Steve, this is the workflow. Looks very similar. Every workflow should look very similar because this is how a workflow should look. Okay.
Yep.
So the marketing, Steve. Why do you have to get Google reviews every day if you're a dog trainer?
Because people are going to Google dog training, and you want to show up, and you want to have a lot of reviews.
You know that I think every single Tip Top Canine franchise location that we have, they were not a dog trainer before buying a Tip Top Canine, and now they are, and they all make doctor money. Like you can make, I guess how long it takes you to learn how to become a dog trainer? How long? 6 years to become a doctor, 8 years to become a doctor. How long do you think? How long do you think? 8 to 12 what? No, it's 6 weeks. So if you buy a Tip Top, you go to training in 6 weeks, and next thing you know, you can make doctor money. 6 weeks. Elephant in the room, it takes you 6 months to build out a location.
And you don't have to take sociology.
Dog training, you can do it at your house. You know that? Guess how much the average person spends on training a dog?
$1,000?
The average ticket is $2,000. You know why? Because a woman, typically, I'm not attacking women, this is just typically what happens. Okay, a woman's like, it's a puppy. And the puppy looks at you with those demon eyes, those cute eyes. And you're like, I want a puppy. It's so
Clay
good.
loves dogs.
No, I don't.
He hates dogs.
I'm involved in a dog training franchise, but I'm not a big dog guy. I have 2 dogs.
When you say you're not a big dog guy.
Because I'm not going to walk a dog. I don't want to walk a dog. I don't have to feed the dog. I got other things I'm focused on. So, but the dog, I don't need companionship. I'm good. Okay, I like to sleep. That's when I'm good. I go to bed, hang out, do my thing, have my wife, go to sleep. I don't need a dog to pet at night. I'm good. Fine. But $2,000 is the average ticket, and it's because the story is the same every time. A woman sees the dog and goes, it's so cute. And the husband's like, I don't want a dog. I don't want to do it. We had to put the last 2 down. I swear to God, I'll do it again. And she's like, don't do that. You're sick. So the dog comes home, and then the dog is cute, and it's kind of interesting, and it's curious, and it's learning to walk, and it's kind of fun. And then it starts pooping in your closet.
And then it eats your Yeezys.
Eat your Yeezys.
Then you got to kill it.
And women will call, the dog is like eating your wedding gown. I'm being serious. Who here knows what I'm talking about? Who's had a dog that's changed the way you live?
Yeah, I have a dead dog.
People don't even invite people over anymore.
You can't be gone from the house for more than 4 hours.
Well,
at a
if
time.
we
You
leave,
gotta
who's
get
going to
back,
feed the
let 'em
dog?
out.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't even leave my wife at home for 4 hours.
Okay,
let alone a dog.
so the dog thing. So again, people then they say, how much is it to train my dog? And you go, it's $1 for the first lesson, and then we have different options, and you can see which one's the best. But the average ticket is $2,000. So like from a business model perspective, if you could learn how to start a new career in 6 weeks with $50,000 or less of overhead, that's 1 year at the University of Tulsa. Will you look that up, Sean? I want to make sure I'm not exaggerating. Look at the tuition at the University of Tulsa. I think it's $50,000 a year now to go to the University of Tulsa.
Yeah, it's like 50 or 60.
Get out of here. I cannot think of a worse investment than to go to the University of Tulsa.
45,000.
This is not a commercial for the University of Tulsa. 45,000. What? And not a single person who graduates with these degrees knows what the hell they're doing when they show up for a job interview. Have you met these people?
Oh, yeah.
I graduated with a degree in business, and I'm more of a manager level. I'd like to start at a management level because that was my major. Like, Brotown, why don't you show up on time 2 days in a row?
Yeah. That's right.
I'm more of a synergy partner. I help organizations find the synergy. Brotown, take the earbuds out when you're on the phone. Okay,
Clay, they think the number of student loans they have should dictate how much money they make.
Right.
Like, you don't understand. I have all these student loans, so I need to make at least, like, no.
No. So, back to this conversation. Box number 1. Okay, we're going to get into this book today. Are we all on the same page? We have to have our revenue goals for the year. And then for the month, we got to have that. It's very important you break it down for the year, the month, the week. Okay? And you want to make sure you're in an industry that it is mathematically possible to achieve your goals. I'm going to give you one more example, and then I'm moving on. We'll take our first break, okay? I met a guy years ago. He's a nice guy. He's at the mall. Stairs, he's at the mall?
At the mall.
Not a client of mine. How many of you again have been to the mall? Who went to the mall and it wasn't your choice? You went, someone else was going, you were there, you're stuck. I'm at the mall. True story. I'm at the mall. I'm at a mall in Louisville. I'm at the mall, and there's a guy who sells phones. It's a cell phone company. It's like a T-Mobile store, but it's like an off-brand. It's like your own version of a phone store. And there's no traffic at the mall, at his location. Now, how many of you have seen the Asian massage guy at every mall?
Yep.
And I'm sure there's a Caucasian massage place, but I haven't seen it yet,
No,
okay?
no,
there's the
there's
Asian massage guy. And these guys are busy. Have you seen these guys? They're always busy. So I'm talking to the phone guy, the store. I said, hey, 'cause my wife is shopping, hanging out with her dad, and I'm doing what I do. I'm always businessing. I'm always thinking about growing a business, fixing a business. So I'm talking to the phone guy, and I'm like, phone guy, is it always this slow? He's like, oh, yeah, it's terrible. I'm like, why don't you go get Mr. Miyagi out here and bring him in front of your store and offer free massages if people compare phone plans? And he was like, what? I said, go talk to Mr. Miyagi. And
Is that the Asian guy?
Yeah, I said, Miyagi, move your guy over here. You've been to the mall, right? The face down massage thing. Do you want a massage? Have you seen this? You kind of lean over and they rub your, the back massage. So he says, how does that work? I'm like, God, the lack of entrepreneurship that is pervasive in America today blows my mind. So I go to Miyagi and I'm like, Miyagi, hey, do you want to, if you set up your booth over here in front of the phone guy, and you do massages, he'll pay you per hour, and you can also charge people, whatever. The guy's like, really? So how does that work? So we worked out, it's a true story, this happened. So the phone guy's like, so he puts up this is a real thing. I was there for the weekend, and this is a real thing. So the guy says, so what do I do now? I said, you just tell people if they compare rates, they get a free massage, then you pay Miyagi. So the customer gets a free massage, they compare rates, it's a free massage. That's the deal. And his business is crazy. By like the end of the weekend, he's like, I've never been busier. And it's just one little move, which was just getting traffic. So here he has a phone store with no traffic. Other examples, I'm just trying to help you. There was a business I worked with years ago that sold wedding dresses. And I talked to her and I said, where are you located? And she's located in the armpit of a shopping center. Who can relate to this? The armpit of a shopping center?
Yeah.
Who knows where Fontana is? Fontana, Steve?
Yeah, it's like in the corner.
The Fontana. There's a good one.
It's a shopping center in Tulsa that's always empty, but it's inexpensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I met said lady at one of these workshops and I said, where are you located? And she says, I'm in, this area kind of like by Fontana. And I go, really? Why? She says, well, it's very inexpensive. And I said, no, it's very expensive to be in Fontana. So she moved her business next to a cake business, a very busy, booming cake business. And now her business is booming. So if you're listening today, you might have like just one issue that might be marketing. But I just want to make sure that the math works on your side, that it is actually possible to break even. Stairs. Restaurant. Won't mention the name, won't mention the city. There was a restaurant you worked with years ago. Very busy restaurant, not profitable. And I remember you talked to the owner and you said, Mr. Owner, you're going to have to raise the prices.
Got to raise the prices.
In order to achieve your goals. Owner says, nope. Can you please explain to me why?
He just emotionally was not able to do that. Felt like if he did it, he would lose customers. He had been there for a long time, had worked into the community. Everybody knew him. And he was going, there's just too much loyalty to the customer for me to raise the prices on them.
So again, the purpose of a business is, someone
His
should write this
business
down.
is no longer
the
there.
Purpose of the business is to serve you. If you're the owner, the purpose of the business is to serve you. It is not to create jobs. It is not to provide value for the customer. It's to serve you so you have time freedom and financial freedom. That's the purpose. Someone says, you're selfish. Okay, fine, but that's how that works. Okay? Because there's 3 P's, and then we're taking our break. There's 3 P's in business, and you should write this down, okay? The customer always wants a lower price. Can I get an amen? Are we on the same page?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, amen just means yes. It doesn't have to be.
Amen.
Shut up, thank you.
Am I a Christian?
The customer always wants a
Shaka-baba.
lower price, yes. And the employee always wants higher
Pay.
Oh, it's the second P. So the employee always wants higher pay, and the customer always wants a lower price. And nobody wants you to make a profit.
Whoa,
this guy's a prophet of profit. Incredible.
Yes.
Okay, again, let's talk about it again. The customer always wants a lower price. The employee always wants more pay. And there is nobody in your town, in your community, and probably even in your own house that wants you to make a profit. So no one is advocating for you. So this is the one time you're going to come to a workshop where you're stuck with a sick freak, a very pale male, it's 8 a.m, who's yelling at you about you becoming more profitable. Because I meet people all the time who've been in business for 20 years, and Stairs and I met this guy. The food was good, the branding was good,
great.
Line around the door, a waiting list, and homeboy will not raise his prices $4 per meal. And if he would have raised his prices $4 per meal, he would have made about $400,000 a year. But he won't do it. So homeboys,
and he's the one stuck every day making the pizza. He'd had this for 8 years, and he was still stuck in it.
Sad.
And it was getting into the marriage because his wife was frustrated because he wasn't at home.
Could you imagine being married to someone who works all the time, who doesn't make any money at all and won't raise prices because of the emotional connection they have with ambiguous strangers that eat pizza? I worry so much about
you just told everybody what the place was.
Okay.
Thanks, Clay.
All right, so
is he coming this afternoon so we can ask him
I'm just
questions?
trying to help somebody out there, okay? So we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back here. It's 8:10. We're coming back at 8:25 for the next session, 8:25. And at 8:25, we're going to get into the number of hours that you're willing to work in designing a schedule that's sustainable, that you are excited about, so that you don't hate your life as you build a great business, okay?
If you've got a question on your numbers, be sure to come up and talk with us.
Any questions, you can put them up on the board. Any complaints, leave them on the Rumble thread there. That's helpful. Any complaints? Okay. Any questions, though, just put them on the whiteboard. We'll be back here at 8:25. Back here at 8:25.
When you take that
8:25.
jump, you don't feel the fall. of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing. And this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you spend a day or two with us to make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. go to our website, tiptopk9.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top K9 is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income but is really rewarding.
My name is Seth Flint, and I had originally heard about Tip Top K9 through my old pastors who I worked for. They trained their Great Pyrenees with Ryan and Tip Top K9. They did a phenomenal job and became really good friends with Ryan and Rachel. I was working at a local church, and it was a great experience. I ended up leaving there and working with Ryan and Tip Top K9. The biggest thing that I really enjoy about being self-employed is that I can create my own schedule. I have the ability to spend more time with my family, my wife and my daughter. So my very favorite thing about training dogs with Tip Top K9 is that I get to work with the people. Obviously, I love working with dogs, but it's just so rewarding to be able to train a dog that had serious issues, whether it's behavioral or whatever, and seeing a transformation, taking that dog home, and mom and dad are literally in tears because of how happy they are with the training. If somebody is interested, I'd say don't hesitate. Make sure you like dogs. Make sure that you enjoy working with people because we're not just dog trainers. We are customer service people that help dogs, and so definitely don't hesitate. Just come in and ask questions. Ask all the questions you have.